Hello, and welcome back, beautiful people. Welcome back to the Popcorn for Dinner podcast. Today, after a very long time, joining other people's shows, I am hosting. And today we're talking about Invincible, everyone's favorite animated show. I'm joined by two special guests, but before we get to them and before we get to the episode we have lined up for you guys today, just some news on our Invincible coverage. You'll have deep dives on episodes every other week. And in between these deep dives, we'll have shorter episodes more focused on specific plot points or show details. We have some exciting guests lined up for you guys as this season unfolds, some familiar faces and some new friends. Excited to bring that to you guys. The other things on the podcast feed, we've got episodes breaking down Severance every week. They will be available every Friday as soon as the Severance episode concludes. And we also have some episodes on everyone's favorite films from the previous year. We've got episodes on Conclave, episodes on Juror 2, episodes on Wicked. So please go check out the feed. And if you like anything, give us a like, rate us 5 stars on Spotify or Apple Music. And if you don't like anything, please give us a like and rate us 5 stars because we need it. We've also got a YouTube page. Go find that, share with your friends, post, email, tell everyone you know about it. And yeah, that's what I have for you as a intro to the gang. Now, today I'm joined by two familiar faces. They were with us last season talking about Invincible. They were with us the previous season talking about Invincible. I've got Oseghale and Chiagoziem for you guys. And today we'll be talking Invincible Season 3, Episode 1 to 3, as they were gracious enough to finally give this to us. Guys, it's been a while. How are you doing?
Yeah, man, I'm good, man. Always happy to be back on the Popcorn for Dinner pod. You're not going to let the Popcorn for Dinner bodies down. Came with my head on this time. So, yeah, I'm ready to go.
Are you guys hearing that? We have Popcorn for Dinner baddies. I feel like I only ever see these baddies anytime Oseghale is around. In the times in between, I don't see them. Oh God. Chiagoziem, how are you? How's things?
Yeah, things are good. Here for the PFD hotties and baddies. And yeah,
Man,
always happy to be back. Talk about TV.
Our favorite boy. Some people's favorite boy, some people's least favorite boy. Mark Grayson / Invincible. So guys, these 3 episodes, they were a great intro, or should I say an intro? They were a great return back into the world of Invincible. We pick up where we last left off with Mark with the realization, which he somehow realizes every season, that he needs to get stronger. So this season picks up with Mark on a training montage. Cecil seems determined to get Mark to a decent strength level, but at some point over these 3 episodes, we see that the relationship between Cecil and Mark is not going to head the way we think, and that there is a huge divide there. Speaking of Mark, his younger brother, Omni-Man's bastard child, also known as Bug Boy in certain circles, has now gotten his powers, and he is desperate to use them to help his big bro Mark and to protect his family and protect other people that he deems as worthy. The rest of the Guardians of the Globe, they have a bit of a civil war situation that they're facing due to, like I already mentioned, the conflict between Mark and Cecil. And yeah, I feel like that was the overarching thing that happened in the first 3 episodes, where Mark feels a certain way about Cecil's use of past criminals or people with sketchy pasts to forward his goals, and Cecil feels like Mark should shut the fuck up and he doesn't know anything. So I just want to ask you guys' opinion on the big question after watching those first 3 episodes. How do you guys feel about Cecil using criminals to save people, and about his belief that you can't be the good guy and save the world, or you can't save the world as the good guy?
Well, personally, I'm never agreeing with the feds. That is crazy. That's insane. But on the one hand, like, I can actually see where Cecil is coming from, right? Because at the end of the day, it's like that his old boss rightly said, like, some talents are too like good to waste. So someone like Darkwing now, for example, like, yeah, he is a psychopath, but bro, that guy can literally teleport between dimensions. I'm not gonna lie. That's a very useful power to have on your side. But again, like I said, the problem is Cecil is extreme in his views of these things, right? Like, he has no ethics and no morals at all. And when he sees guys with ethics and morals, he's like, damn, y'all niggas are stupid. And he's like, bro, that's not how it works. Like there just needs to be a middle ground. Because the truth of the matter is, if Cecil actually like let people know that, hey man, listen, I'm doing this, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, and there was an actual debate, like, it would go over than, bro, yeah, in a battle situation, you're trying to rescue people, and you see your ops just appear. Like, bro, what? Like, that's crazy. Like, it is actually very crazy. And it's like, yeah, your ops appear and they're helping you, but bro, that doesn't change the fact that that's your ops. Like, your first instinct is to fuck them up because those are your ops. So it's like Cecil. Again, you guys know from the jump, I've never liked him super. Like I respect that he tries his best to get the job done, but his methods are nuts. And again, it's just going to keep like driving a wedge between him, Mark, and like the Guardians. And at the end of the day, that shit's going to blow up in his face. That's just the truth of the matter.
Fair enough. One of the first things you said when you said Cecil has no ethics or lines or boundaries, the first thing I thought of was that scene at the start where Mark is fighting this giant monster, and then he beats him, and then they're telling the parents, "Oh, we're so sorry." And then Cecil's like, "After all, he's only 8." Like, they brought an 8-year-old for Mark to train on. But yeah, like, I agree with what you said. I personally, Cecil is very sketchy. And I like what you said about how, if Cecil tells everyone what he's trying to do to protect them, there's a lot of people that will disagree. And Mark is very strongly one of those people. But what about you guys? What do you think about Cecil calling Mark a hypocrite? That's, he's allowed to mess up. His dad is allowed to mess up, but God forbid other people mess up and try and redeem themselves.
I think that was a low blow. There was actually no need for him to say any of that. Like, he knows the context. He knows what Omni-Man has done to Mark. It was just unnecessary and just mean-spirited, to be honest. I mean, in the sense, I guess, like, I don't know, Cecil, because I think it was episode 2 when we saw his backstory. So, like, the same thing has happened to him. They brought his ops to the operation, and I think he killed them as well. So at least he's talking from experience. Like, he's not just saying things. I guess we can give him that. But yeah, it's crazy. Like, you should at least warn them. You can't just bring the ops to the fight and be
Bro,
like, play along together.
The first thing I thought was, what if I have PTSD and I just see him and I just start spazzing out?
Exactly. So,
oh god. Yeah, like Cecil strikes me as one of those people who doesn't believe in mental health. If you tell him you have PTSD, he'll be like, well, use it to the best, use it to the best of my ability. Let me find a way to put you in the field.
Exactly, because even when this is a tangent, but what's his name? That his sidekick, when he found out that he had been brought back to life, Cecil was like, "I saved you." Duh, 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 duh. And I mean, fair to Cecil, he's also gone through the same thing, I'm guessing, because he also got very destroyed per his origin story. So the good thing about him is he talks from experience. He's not just like chatting, but he should have some sort of empathy towards people who are going through what he's gone through, because not everyone can just be a killer, some people need to ease into it.
That is interesting, because yeah, maybe in some way you're right that Cecil doesn't ask them to do something he hasn't experienced, or doesn't provide wisdom that he hasn't gotten from his life. But in this particular case, I don't know, I just feel like he had to learn the lesson by killing those guys and going to jail. So maybe he should have been a little more delicate in how he passed it across to Mark, or a little more understanding of why someone would be so angry that you were turning their ops into teammates, especially someone with Mark's history with his father and people who were close to him not being who they said they were. Which brings me to an interesting point. Cecil absolutely flames Mark. I don't even like Cecil, but when he called him a hypocrite, I was like, whoo! What's that thing they used to do in High School Musical where they're like, burn? I was like, I was like, God damn, he cooked the fuck out of Mark. So yeah, do you guys agree with Cecil? Is Mark a hypocrite? Or like you said, Chiagoziem, there's like mitigating circumstances in the case of Omni-Man and Mark. So please tell us.
Yeah, I think it's just tough, man. It's his dad, and we all know what Omni-Man has done to Mark.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he has used his face to kill people in the subway. We've been through a whole thing, Omni-Man and Mark. Brought him to this foreign planet. I feel like there's a lot of history there, and that was very low blow for Cecil to kind of bring that up. Wrong place, wrong time, wrong everything. So is he a hypocrite? Maybe, but I mean, I just can't believe Cecil said that. Honestly, I think I'm still in shock. Yeah.
Oh my God, Cecil! But that means Cecil really finished our boy, because you felt it and you're still in shock. Because
I literally wrote in my notes, Cecil. Oh my God. ... I was like, oh,
maybe
how can you say that?
There's some truth. There's some truth to it. Maybe there is. And then Cecil didn't even end there. At the end of the thing, where he says to Mark, "You arrogant little," I was like, Cecil, you. I've never seen you act like this. Even though I know you as a hard man, you have never been this straightforward. So I don't know, man. Like, the whole thing became messy, and Mark basically exposes Cecil to the Guardians, and Cecil doesn't even give a fuck. Cecil is like, okay, this is who I am. You guys can either take it or leave it. I'm not going to beg any of you. Which, again, I have this opinion. Some people disagree with me. I don't think Cecil is as good at his job as he likes to form that he is. I will open the floor if you disagree with me, or if you want to back me up. I just don't. I feel like this guy is, them memes where you're walking fast, so it looks like you're doing something. That's how I feel about Cecil sometimes, right? Mr. Contingency Plan.
Yeah, I mean, again, like I said, Cecil, for being a human, like, yeah, he gets the job done, but he doesn't get the job done efficiently, and it's not like he's doing anything that is so crazy or so special. Like, this guy's not a genius. Like, he's just looks for like the easiest way out where shit has already hit the fan, right? So again, it's like, what does Cecil do that's so special? Like, he brings these guys together, but it's not like he can really coordinate them or anything. He's literally just like responding to threats as they happen. He's not like predicting anything. You get like, Cecil is not out, he's not Batman. Like, he's not out here doing some real shit. Like, he's just following like what his boss did. Like, the knockoff Nick Fury guy. Get Brody. You think he even had one eye too. So I'm just like, yeah, he's trying to be the understudy of the knockoff Nick Fury, and you acting like you be shit. Come on, bro. That's not how it works. That's not how it works. Again, like I said, respect to Cecil, like, he makes the hard decisions. And sometimes those hard decisions need to be made. But again, you don't need to make hard decisions every time. You don't have to make every decision a hard decision. That's what he's trying to do a lot of the time. And that's why shit keeps end up blowing in his face. Like, literally, now the Guardians are divided because of him. And it's like, bro, people agreeing, like, for me, the Guardians agreeing with Cecil are bugging, bro. It's literally this shit about like elders arguing with like Gen Z niggas type shit. They're like, oh, bro, like, this guy put a device in Mike's head that can explode. Immortal is like, yeah, bro, like, he was too easy on Mark anyway. Nigga, what? Like, well, nigga, sorry, you can't die. Other people can.
We'll come to Immortal the Fraud. But I think you say one very important thing there that I was thinking about throughout this episode, that Cecil brings these guys together, but it's not like he puts a lot of effort into making them a coordinated team. Left to him, if one of them dies, they die for the mission, right? Mm-hmm. So he's basically created a suicide squad of heroes, right? Using youngish heroes. And to make it worse, what I think is the worst part is that we have Mark, who is learning how to become a hero in this type of environment, right? I feel like for Mark to end up heroic after all this, it will be a very big triumph, because all the influences are kind of very, very negative.
Yeah.
That is why. Okay, sorry, because if you go.
Sorry, I was gonna say, my thing with Cecil is, like, at the end of the day, he lacks a lot of empathy, and he's also like, he's dealing with kids. these are literally teens, and like I don't know if any of them is in their early 20s, but they're also like their brains are still developing. They're doing silly shit. So he also needs to kind of realize that this is who he's working with, and he needs to be leading them with a bit more like compassion. Yeah.
He needs to give them some rope. And that is one of the things that makes me laugh, is because, like I said, I made the joke about him not being good at his job, is that he had Omni-Man for how many years? What contingency plan did he have for Omni-Man? All these years, and then when Omni-Man snapped, now he's now become Mr. I must have a contingency even for Mark. But when Omni-Man snapped, I don't know, man. He didn't have anything that was nearly strong enough to even stop him or attempt to stop him. He was as confused as the rest of us.
Yeah, he's definitely operating from a place of fear right now. But my thing is, like, even if you're scared, like, I don't even get why he like let Mark know at this early point in time that he put a chip in his brain. Like, I was confused. And even when he took him to that like white Mark destruction room, I was like, I was even thinking to myself, is this the last season of the show? Because why are we seeing all these things right now? Like, why is he showing his hand so early? Even if you're scared, like, you're not supposed to let your quote unquote ops know that you're scared. So Cecil is just, I don't even know.
So that's one thing that I was thinking about, and it's good that you raised it, because I find it so daft that he would do this to Mark, say this to Mark, do all these things to Mark, and then I realized Cecil doesn't rate Mark like that. Like, he doesn't think Mark has it in him. He doesn't think Mark has it in him to end things very quickly. He doesn't think Mark has that killer gene, or should I say killer mentality. To me, if I was you, Mark, personally, I wouldn't have that, because all this thing is him testing your gangster. He's telling you he has people that can kill you. He's telling you to calm down. A regular human is shouting at you. Personally, me, if I was a Viltrumite, I wouldn't take that.
Yeah, Bankole said that, to be fair. Like, I mean, Cecil did say, "You're scaring me right now." And, you know, I mean, word. But you know what was the scariest part for me of the 3 episodes, actually? When, like, with that whole chip thing, when Mark, like, obliterated the creatures in the Guardians, in their lair, it was very, very similar to when Omni-Man, like, did his own massacre. And I'm just like, because if Immortal was there, that's like pure PTSD. Like, this is direct straight from the source. And I was just like, genuinely, I was scared. I'm not even gonna lie. I was like, oh, Mark, you've been in the lab. This is actually, and y'all know I love the gore. That's what I'm here for. But I was like, this is a lot.
Bro, as soon as everything went silent and Robot said frequency neutral, I don't even know, man. I just felt like, oh shit, it's go time. And Mark just, shoo.
Scary.
No,
I don't even know if the robot guy took the chip out of his head. Would I have taken the chip out?
Oh my God. No,
I don't know.
You would have. Mark said, get this fucking chip out of
my
contingency plan.
Contingency plan. You would have said, yes, sir. I'm behind you.
Contingency. Because if the fear in everyone's eyes,
bro,
I don't know if he took it out. I don't know if I would have.
No. If it was me, no, you would have. The way Mark said it, no one was saying no.
Bro, nobody was arguing with that shit, bro.
No, like, you can pretend to take it out, but will you actually take it out?
Nah, ain't no pretending. You taking that shit out. You see, bro, the last 3 anime he killed, bro, he obliterated that guy with 1 punch.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, his body exploded.
He showed them that I'm really Omni-Man's son. He showed Cecil, I'm really Omni-Man's son, and he showed, like you said, if Immortal was there, Immortal might have even been more on Cecil's side. Like, yeah, this nigga is scary. Speaking of that punk ass nigga named Immortal, what was he on this entire episode? Just doing nonsense, saying nonsense from his nonsense high horse.
That guy needs to retire. Like, I know the economy is tough right now, you know. And also, you know, like, he has a wedding to plan. This fucking engagement season won't leave us. So,
bro, even in Invincible, we can't get a break.
I'm just like, okay, wow, bro. Great. So he has a wedding to plan. The bills are stacked up. So, you know, he has to be
Cecil's
on it,
dog
getting to business
until the wedding.
Like I think
Nah,
the thing with Immortal is that like he's been alive so long that he's basically like lost all hope in humanity, and he's like, yeah, bro, like this way is the only way due to, again, being alive for so long. And I can kind of understand that, right? Like, people are always on some bullshit. And this guy has seen a lot of bullshit in his life. So I can understand why he wants to be stern, why he wants to follow a certain path and do these things. But bro, like life just doesn't work like that, bro. Like, especially again, you're dealing with kids, bro. Like, you're the oldest person in this team. Even Doc Samson is like, hey, bro, you bugging right now. And you're like, oh yeah, they will come back. Why would they come back, bro? Why would they come back?
He's a typical, as you said, it's like old guy, man, of a long, long, far away generation where they're just like follow orders. Who cares about your feelings? You shouldn't be spoiled. This, that, that. But this guy, I've realized something, right? And I saw it I didn't notice it the first time I watched these episodes, but on rewatch, Immortal is just jealous of Omni-Man, and now he's jealous of Mark. I used to think before this guy had some serious reason. No, I see it in his eyes, deep, deep down in his eyes. He's just jealous of Omni-Man and the love that Omni-Man got when he's been doing this for longer. You know how it is now.
Mm-hmm.
Old heads always hating on the new kids on the block.
That's true.
He felt, emasculated by Omni-Man, and the fact that he killed him. I don't know. But shout out to our boy, Rexplode. He gave Immortal a piece of his mind. And that was, bro, this was like the episode of Insane Burns, man. He called him a bootlicking something prick. And I said, yo, are you going to take that? In front of your babe as well, Omar?
Oh, also, I forgot to say,
Yes.
Kate's brother popped
God.
up. I feel like multi-Paul and duplicate. That's a smart hero naming. Like once I heard it, I was like
multi-Paul. Yeah, that was cool.
I was like, no, these guys are cooking. These are cool. Some writers in this room.
Yeah, cooked. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah.
That was cool as fuck. So, what do you guys think is going to happen with the Guardians now? Or should I say Teen Team? It's actually funny because when they said, Teen Team, I was just thinking, aren't these old men? But no, you're right. These guys are children. They're still teenagers. They can still go and call themselves Teen Team. But yeah, what do you guys think is going to happen with the Guardians and Teen Team now? How is it going to work?
I mean, they might end up banding together.
You think?
I don't know. But I don't know. The Gen Zs, they're so like bold and so brave. I feel like they really stand on business. So I feel like once they say we're going, we're going.
So, but what are they going to do? Because if they turn up to a crime scene that Cecil doesn't approve of, you don't know what they might meet there. You don't know what they might find there. And Cecil won't just let them go off and do their own thing. I know that's for sure.
I think what they need to do, number one, like Mark, they need to get in the lab. Yeah, because Oliver, young kid, just showed up and let me not jump ahead, Sha, because I'm still mourning. But the lab is essential.
The
lab is essential.
The lab TM.
No, literally, and you can see from the title sequence, the blood is gone.
Yeah.
So the lab is essential. They need to get in the lab. The oldies, B Squad, they need to recruit new members. Maybe they're going to bring in some new people to supplement the loss, and then, I don't know. But it's just, Cecil has just caused chaos unnecessarily.
I love how every time they want to introduce new heroes and new characters, they say they're doing auditions, and that way they can get new. I hope the new ones are better than the last new set they brought. I can't lie, because the last new sets I was a bit 50-50 on them. So you brought up our boy Ollie. So please, people, before I give my own thoughts, right, the floor is yours to tell us about Ollie throughout these 3 episodes and how you felt and what you thought about it.
Now, I'm not gonna lie. At first, I was like, yeah, like, this is just a kid, like, he doesn't really understand what's going on. And, like, he's just doing kid shit right now. He's just excited to be a superhero. Doesn't really know how to control his powers. Like, this is normal. Then I watched and I'm like, okay, this is the spawn of Satan. Okay. This is the spawn of Satan right here. Cool. Because, bro, I remember, like, first of all, like, during that whole fight sequence when he's like racking the Molar twins, I'm like, bro, this guy is very strong. Like, bro, because the Molar's like, bro, these are not guys to mess with. Like, these guys are tough. So when he breaks the first guy's jaw, I'm like, yo, bro, first of all, yeah, like this guy is growing very fast because of like of the DNA and everything. But bro, that's a serious punch for a child to break a molar's jaw. I'm like, all right, that's crazy. Then they beat him up again and I'm like, yeah, you know, maybe just to be for his boots type shit. Then he flashed through that nigga's chest and I'm like, wait, what's going on? What is happening right now? And after I flew to his chest, I looked at his face and he didn't even react like he had done something wrong. And that was when I was like, yeah, we're in serious trouble. We're in serious trouble right now. He looked at this other guy and the guy is surrendering and he punches his head off, like clean off. And I'm like, yeah, whoa. this is the spawn of Satan right here. This is it. So he punches that guy off. Then Cecil and these other guys are just looking because they're like, what the fuck? Because like when Mark first gets there, he goes straight to Cecil. He doesn't even look at what has just happened. So Mark doesn't even know that Oliver just killed these guys. So he dragged Oliver out and he was like, yo, bro, like, we don't kill. The guy said, bro, it was an accident, bro. But these guys are never going to be a problem again. And Mark is like, yo, bro, what? Like, what's happening? Bro, Oliver runs away, Mark chases him, and he's like, yo, guy, we need to talk. We can't kill people, bro. Life is precious. The guy, and Oliver is like, bro, what do you mean life is precious, bro? Humans kill each other all the time, and they're not even special like us. When he said that, I said, fuck, man. Why dusted? Like, why we are so finished. Then after saying that, not only did he say that, and Mark at this point is still trying to reason with him. He's like, bro, you think you know everything. Have you ever considered that dad was right? And Mark is stunned. Like, that's the first time in this whole show that Mark has been speechless. Like, he didn't even know what to say. They literally had to cut away from that scene because it's like, what do you want to talk again? Now, that was a goated sequence, bro. Like, shout out to the writers. That shit was nuts. Like, I'm watching this shit at like 6 a.m., bro. And literally that pee happens, my mouth is open. I'm like, what the fuck just happened?
Oh God, I have absolutely nothing to add. You've summarized my thoughts
Literally.
so well from A to Z.
From start to finish.
I
Because
can't believe it.
you know, like the Mahler twins, they're top of my hear me out cake. Like, I like those niggas. So when first of all, when he punched, you know, the same thing you said, when he actually made impact, I was like, yo, this kid is cooking. And it was when he flew through, I was like, nah, it's actually a wrap. The Mahler twins, so now they're gone from the Invincible universe? Diabolical. And even when like Mark was chasing him and the guy was speeding, I was like, is Mark not gonna catch this guy?
I was scared though.
I was like, where is this speed coming from? But shout out to Mark, because in past seasons, if he had done that and caught Ollie, they would have crashed into the rocks. But then this time he landed on his feet. I was like, yeah, the boy's been in the lab. He put that work. Anyway, I digress. But yeah, no, in my notes, Oliver is a goner. Once he said, have you ever thought the Omni-Man could be right? They're not special like us. No, that kid is a goner. Like, he's Omni-Man 2.0. Even went to call himself Omni-Boy. And then him being like, I don't know what to say. It's just
he did call himself Omni-Boy. He called himself
what did he want to be?
Omni-Man.
Oh, Kid Omni-Man. That's even worse.
Kid Omni-Man.
You see, my brain had to rearrange it so I wouldn't... Kid
Omni-Man. I swear, I'm Omni-Man, just this smaller version.
I'm scared. And you know what? My thing is, I'm sure that once Cecil saw like the Mahler twins in bits, he was like, this Ollie guy needs a chip ASAP. Yeah. This is the one we need to be. Because, Mark has morals a little bit. Yeah. Like, Mark is proper like, God, this kid they're not special like us. People die every day. I mean, like, let me just take a step back. Low key, like, he was kind of cooking because if you just defeat them, they won't keep on coming back to disturb you. So, like, low key makes sense. But he's a kid and he wasn't even like shocked, like, oh my God, I killed somebody. This guy was ready for round 2 and he decapitated this guy. No, it was too much, actually. It was actually, no.
Speaking of Mark and his morals, I think one thing that I realize, or that I'm thinking, and I wouldn't even be too surprised, is if Cecil, who I joked about earlier in the episode, if his contingency for Omni-Man this whole time was for Mark to develop enough of a human conscience, right? Where he actually cares about people because his mom and going to school and all of that. But like you said, this Ollie kid, he just has so many things working against him. First of all, there's never been a good purple child in the history of anything. I was just thinking of Wayne Cramp from the Cramp. There's never been a good purple child. So
that's a deep cut right there.
That's fine.
So
No,
now-
That's a deep cut. You cooking?
So this boy and his purple skin, I'm not a racist, but like, hey man, I don't know, like purple doesn't feel good to be a person.
Yeah.
Secondly, right, now he has a father who he knows was this kind of, monster, right? That's how he knows his father from the first day that he was born. And then now he has this brother who I think Mark is getting worse and worse, right? Like he obviously had morals and then Omni-Man did his thing. But I think the mental strain that's been going on Mark for the last few years, I think it's catching up to the boy, man. He's getting angrier at things. He's killing things now. Like he sometimes doesn't even try to de-escalate. He's just become so much more like a Viltrumite, which is why I said this thing and what I'm seeing from this season is that this might be the season that Mark becomes a hero. Because one of the most heroic things he'll be able to do is if he can somehow save Ollie. Which, funny enough, I was thinking about this perfect supervillain name for Ollie, and I'm not trying to push him to that side, but Diabolical, as Chiagoziem said, that would be a perfect villain name for this little rascal. But yeah, I watched it and I was saying, okay, this boy is, having typical child thing, blah, blah. And then I didn't even care for a long time. And then he killed the Maulers and I was like, fuck you, Bug Boy. And from now on, that's why I call him Bug Boy. I didn't even call him
Boy.
Because what do you mean you killed the Maulers? Nah, I was very, very, very incensed.
Yeah, Mark needs to get to therapy ASAP. The anger issues are
so the
getting
thing
out
is,
of hand.
Can therapy even fix it? Because now I even see it that like he needs to be a certain way for what Cecil wants. Like you can't be like Cecil already has barely has any morals, and then if you're going to be Cecil's best weapon, then I don't know how moral you can be because he will want you to be less moral than him, who doesn't have any. You're supposed to just be a point and shoot weapon for him. So I don't know, man. Cecil encourages, those people that try and recruit the most tapped henchmen because they don't have like fear of anything. I feel like that's what Cecil is trying to do with Mark. He wants him angry. But this Ollie and Mark storyline has so much potential because what if Ollie becomes a villain? Like he grows fast, he could be Mark's size and weight and strength very soon. What if Cecil starts whispering into Ollie's ear? Will he listen? Or what if...
I think Ollie is going to become a villain.
Okay, so
Anissa
you're
is
already planting your flag early.
Once he killed the Mauler twins and didn't flinch, I said, nah, he's gone. Like, forget about Oliver. He's not solution. Anissa, is that Arhadi's name?
Yeah,
that
that's
babe.
her.
Yeah, we need to see her back ASAP. But aside from that, like, she's going to come and see Ollie and be like, but then he's actually a bastard. So maybe she won't even want to include him in the
disgusted
plans.
by him.
That's another angle. But my original theory was she was going to come see this guy and be like, we're going to recruit you. Ollie's going to say, yeah.
He's definitely going to say yes, yeah.
Word up, yeah, I'm down.
Yeah.
And then Mark will have to fight Ollie. Omni-Man? ? Alan? So many things are just going on in this universe. But one thing I know for certain, Oliver, villain. Purple Boy, please. Wayne Cramp adjacent, villain.
Bro.
Yeah.
Oh my God, damn.
I feel like, yes, what we saw was insane, but we may be writing the boy off a little bit too early.
Okay,
Because
come back. Let's see.
At the end of the episode, right, when Debbie, his mom, was explaining to him, why life is precious and everything, he seemed to be genuinely receptive. Now, again, we don't know how that's going to play out as things continue. But I'm not going to write the boy off because of his worst day so far. He's bugging you. He bugged the fuck out. Yes, he bugged the fuck out. But again, like, there's still so many factors. He's still a kid, right?
Sure.
He hasn't received proper training. He's going through puberty most likely right now, an accelerated form of puberty. So he really can't control himself that well. And he still has a lot of positive influences in his life, because even now, right, if Omni-Man were to come back, he's going to come back on a positive influence level, right? So again, like you guys said, it's really where he swings really depends on the kind of interactions he's going to have like during the season. Like, yes, at this point in time, if Anissa comes tomorrow, he's joining the Visual Mass for sure. For sure. Like, that might not be the case later down the line in the season, but time will tell. But again, I don't want to write the boy off because his heart is in the right place. Like, we can tell that his heart is in the right place. He actually wants to help people. The problem is he doesn't see bad guys as people. He doesn't see them as life that needs to be protected, right? And I can understand why he does that, because he's looking at this thing like, bro, in a child's POV, if I kill the bad guys, it's done. They're not coming back. But life is not that black and white. So we'll see how it goes. I'm not writing him off yet.
Oh, this might be my bias showing, but I can't lie. When he was looking contrite and like he accepted what his mom was saying, I was just thinking, this guy is already so good at lying. I was just like, this guy is lying. I didn't want to
say it.
I did not believe anything he was saying or doing or acting. And also another thing that makes me think, I don't know, I feel like this Ollie thing is going to be a longer storyline, because one, I don't think they would make him kill the Maulers of all people if this was just going to be a one-time thing, right? They're trying to show you that this boy is very crazy and he can snap at any time. And then the other thing is, I just don't think his redemption will be that quick. I don't feel like he's going to make this mistake one time and that will be it. So it is an interesting one that I hope they explore more, which they definitely will. But I'm also worried of what you guys said, the external influences, because, man, Mark can barely, even with all of them together, he can barely face any Viltrumite if it's him, Omni-Man, and Ollie. Now imagine if Ollie goes to the other side. Mark has already fought his dad one time. Now they want to make him fight his brother. How much more can our boy take?
Yeah, because I thought Mark, I mean, he has been in the lab, like, he's jacked, he's doing things. But was it the lava sequence when they were with Dr. Seismic and he was down? I was like, Anissa would not be proud. Like, what's actually going on here? This should be light work.
I 100% agree, because throughout these episodes, I was thinking something. I just kept thinking, how strong is Mark? Because all them numbers they're giving me at the start, they don't mean anything. I want to see if you can fight a Viltrumite. All these 64% stronger, blah, blah. That doesn't...
I think he has to be stronger. For the fact that the blood...
no, he is, for sure.
...is away from the title sequence. Is not just
he's
doing...
definitely stronger.
Whatever that graphic is. So he has to be stronger for sure. Unless... This one, they've now demoted him to Invincible Boy. Unless they now replace Ollie with him or some sort of so a new Invincible is a lot.
So the thing is, like,
my brain is just flying away, so that's probably not going to happen.
Mark is definitely stronger, but I don't think they're ready to show us how much stronger he is yet.
Yeah.
Because at the beginning, like, the stuff he was doing is like, bro, that he could not do any of that shit last season. Like, he wasn't even close. Like, Mark could not stay in lava for 7 minutes last season. He would have died. Like, that shit would have peeled the skin off his body. Like, he's actually a lot stronger. And I think he's also trying to practice a lot more control because he knows he's a lot stronger. So, like now, if he actually, like, just goes crazy, the damage he's going to do is going to be a lot more than the damage he does on a normal day. And this guy does a lot of damage. Like, if you guys notice, like, bro, since Mark killed Angstrom, he's never used that amount of strength again, apart from in training. Like he's
Yeah.
been like he's still having like PTSD after that. Like, and again, he's holding his power back. But when the next Viltrumite threat comes, we're going to see what he got in his locker, bro. Like I can tell that, like, bro, like that next Viltrumite that comes to Earth, he's not gonna be happy with what he sees, because he might deck Mark in the beginning, but Mark is going to show himself.
Yeah, because even when those twins that were stealing the Declaration of Independence, Mark was
Yeah.
like holding himself back and stuff.
Yeah.
And then he now gave one of them a punch, and they were like, "Oh, this guy
He
was
almost
actually here
died.
with us."
He almost killed him
Yeah,
with one
so
punch.
you're right. He definitely is holding back, which is why he needs to sort out those anger issues, because like Mark was angry these episodes, but he wasn't like furious. I don't think he hasn't gotten to that point. And then because him being angry has me scared, I'm like, if he's furious, I would be terrified. So
Mark is getting scarier though. I think they're putting an effort into showing that he is becoming more of a, like, literally, I don't know why, but when the season started and Multipole was doing his thing, and then Mark just vexed out of nowhere and was going through them like peak Omni-Man. I don't remember him doing something like that before. Maybe he has. I don't have a strong memory of it. I didn't rewatch. But I was like, okay, Mark is now super efficient. He can go through this quickly. He doesn't need to waste energy fighting. And the thing you said about pulling punches is that I feel like when you're like Mark, you have to pull punches, because not only will you kill everybody, when you're trying to train and ramp up, it's kind of the only way you can train. Because if everyone is too weak for you, you're never going to get that real combat experience. You need to tone yourself down a little and learn, how to move, react, and get punched when you're not strong as you think you should be. But yeah, I think sometimes it does get frustrating when we think Mark is very strong and then he's somehow still captured. Or Mark's weakness is when they group around him and deck him. I've noticed. Like once you get Mark on the floor, he's finished. He's finished. That lion guy did it to him in season 1. Damn.
do you know, I was scared. Well, not scared, I was excited because anyway, let me not digress. I thought the lion guy was gonna show up again.
When?
You know when they were in the tower place. Isn't that the same place where Mark got beat by the lion guy?
Yeah,
In
it was
that
like
Was
building
it?
with the black guy. Am I
Yeah.
bugging?
Yeah.
It is,
was.
right?
Diamond guy, Diamond Head or something.
Yeah, I thought we were gonna see the lion. Cause that lion,
Bro.
PTSD.
Nah, I think sometimes with Invincible, something they do really well is that when someone is getting fucked up, they really make you. It's not just gore for the sake of gore. Like I remember the lion guy using his mace to whack Mark at the base of his spine. I was like, oh, this isn't a punch. Like we see people punch each other all the time. Or like that time when the Viltrumite came from behind Omni-Man with his knee straight into his butt. Like these are tactical drawings to make you see that this shit is really, really painful. It's not just a regular punch or a throw that we see all the time. So guys, I was thinking during this episode, right? Is Mark the worst superhero we've ever had when it comes to love and romance? Because if not, he's up there in the top 3. I don't remember, maybe Spider-Man, right? Tobey Maguire Spider-Man is the only one I can think that was just this fucking awful. What is this boy's problem?
Mark said didn't want to leave her hanging. I was like,
I
are
just
you sick?
can't believe he said that. He's so stupid. Even for an 18-year-old, even for a superhero, why would he behave the way he's behaving?
And like Amber is her name Amber? No, not
Yeah.
Amber. What's homegirl's name?
For the ex.
Eve now.
Eve. Sorry.
Yeah.
Eve had a good point. Like, is it a case where Mark likes her because Eve of the future said that she has been pining for Mark? And which is why the ladies need to listen to Megan Thee Stallion, because why are you pining for this man after 20, whatever, 30 plus years? Ridiculous. Stand up. So obviously Eve is now like, do you actually like me for real? Or nah, But we know that Mark likes her for real because going back to season 2, when she popped up and she, we discussed this.
We talked about
He
it.
picked her up.
That hug was very, very familiar. So, yeah, I think Mark does like her for real. He is a teenager, like, teething problems at relationships and stuff. And at least, like, Eve actually gets him,
The superhero
the
life,
life.
yeah.
So, it makes sense. Lovers are up. Real lovers. #.
Yeah, I mean, the current Eve actually stood on business, and I respect that because she's like, bro, do you understand how embarrassing it is to tell me a me from the future has been prying over you for 20 years? And that's disgusting. That's crazy.
It is,
like,
bro, it is crazy. Like, what?
Like, I was just like, bro, like, they already told you don't bring this shit up, and you still brought it up because you're a dumbass.
Everyone said do not mention, definitely do not. No one was even on the fence. They were like, do not say this because she will hate it. Me personally, I stand with Eve. Mark is forgive the language, Mark is a pussy. There is no fun in asking someone out if you already know their answer. So to me, I'll be on Eve's side. If Eve is like, this is fake, I stand with you because that means he already knew it was an open net. So he just was like, when the risk was there, he didn't want to take it. He didn't want to risk it. So, I mean, I would question his love for me if I was Eve.
No. But I mean, yes, but also that's Eve from a different dimension, right?
Yeah.
So, it's not necessarily, I don't think it was like a sure yes. I think it was maybe like a potentially just because they've had that like relationship in the past. But I mean, he didn't even really shoot his shot for real because
he was just stumbling around. And then Eve just helped him put it together.
Yeah, she said, so are we dating or what? He
also,
didn't even...
Also, shout out to those lovers, man. No talking stage, nothing, man. They were just
it was the same...
They're just like, I like you, you like me, we're dating now. Nothing.
Okay, so...
No wasting time, man.
I erred. It was actually the same dimension, just the future.
Okay, so it was the Eve we know.
Okay,
Fair
so
enough.
it is. That's sad. My hot girl Eve. Why would she? Anyway, the streets are tough. The streets are actually rugged. So fair enough.
Yeah, I mean,
when you see a good one, you just have to. But I digress.
You have to keep them or grab them, whichever one suits you. Speaking of grabbing, Eve grabbed from our good sis Amber, and now in the theme of the episode of repurposing enemies to friends, Amber and Eve are now sitting together, having tea. And I know this is how it always happens. Mark is going to come home one day and see both of them chilling in the living room. And he will be like, what is going on? Am I being set up?
No, but Eve told him. I spoke to your babes.
Oh.
Yeah.
See? Oh, God. Women, man. I spoke to your babe.
I mean, your ex-babe, And they kikied. Amber is also seeing somebody. I forgot his name.
Yeah. Kyle. She's seen Kyle.
Kyle. Yeah.
Kyle guy.
And God, man. So, okay, question. Would you rather be... This is a very low vibrational question about that.
That's a crazy
If you had to choose, right? Would you rather be the person that's dating someone whose ex was a superhero, or the person a superhero left because you were a superhero?
Wait, the person that's dating someone.
So your partner's ex was a superhero, right?
Okay.
Or be the person that a superhero left. So you are the superhero's ex.
I would rather my partner's ex be the superhero because that's a bar I can never attain, so I can be chilling, honestly.
Okay, so if the superhero left you, you will constantly feel inadequate for the rest of your life.
No,
I couldn't meet up.
I won't feel inadequate. I'll be comfortable knowing that, bro, her ex was a literal superhero, but I'm in it now. I'm the one.
Fair enough.
I'm the one.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. That's actually a good way to think about it. Like I'm basically Omni-Man's level. Like, me and him, same babe,
Same shit.
What she saw in him, she saw in me. So true. I'm a nigga that can make shit happen.
Motion. Capital M, motion.
Oh God. Okay, guys, I don't want to leave without circling back to this, do we think Cecil and Mark will make up? Because Mark said, I will never work for you again. And if you come near my family, I will kill you. And I believed Mark. So are they going to make up?
I don't think they will make up per se, but I think they would probably still work together in the future just based on like the threats that are out there. It's like at the end of the day, bro, like they definitely not well, need is a strong word, right? But them working together is the best thing for humanity if we're keeping it a buck, right? Because again, if not for this like Cecil's equipment and shit, like Mark wouldn't have been able to even go through this training arc, right? And the same way, like, if not for Mark, like, bro, there are so many threats that would have overrun the world, like, because guess, like, yeah, the Guardians, they cool and all, but hey, man, them niggas not invincible. Like, let's be for real, because the hardest hitter in the Guardians is Eve. Like, our powers are on another level, but yeah, the Eve is still just one person. And in terms of raw strength, speed, she's still not like matching up to Mark. So it's like them being together is what's best for humanity at the end of the day. So again, I think Mark is a teenager, but he's still growing, he's still maturing. So I think he's going to be able to, get to that point that he can actually compromise a little bit with Cecil. Like, I don't think he's going to directly work with him, but he's going to compromise. And Cecil is just a means to an end guy. So he knows that he needs to work with Mark regardless. So
True.
it's not even a question. Like, if they need to work together, they're going to work together.
He'll put down his ego, like you said. Cecil will very happily say, "Okay, I need you for this, like to protect people." So yeah, I agree with that. What about you, Chiagoziem?
The thing is, Cecil, I guess he has the technology. Like, he can see things. He's been in the game, so he kind of knows things that could help Mark. But I don't know, Cecil implanted the chip in his brain. Like, how do you go back from that?
How do you come back from that? Yeah.
Yeah.
It might just be like a momentary thing where they need each other's help. So for that one
just
fight.
Just like temporary partnerships and stuff. That kind
I
of
almost
thing.
forgot this. What do you guys think about Invincible's new suits?
I fuck with it. Because now that he's wearing black and blue, he's going to be handing out them black and blue beatings, my nigga. I fuck with that shit.
Yeah.
Put that on the billboard. I love it. That should have been Amazon's marketing campaign. Black and blue for all the black and blue.
Oh, it even matches their brand colors. That's true.
Yeah, exactly.
But also, because I feel like his Invincible suit, I mean, he's still invincible. His earlier iterations, I think had yellow, had some fun colors. This blue and black is down to business. Like, he's not playing anymore. No more games. Like, this is straight business, straight beatings, straight, yeah.
Like, I literally saw a tweet, like, at the end of last season, and the guys were talking about the show, and a guy that already come me says that, bro, like, once Mark puts on the black and blue suit, niggas is getting dog walked. That's exactly what he said. Like, there ain't no more playing around.
I'm seeing it. I'm seeing the Mark I've seen this season. Yeah, he definitely has some of that dog in him.
And he's not smiling at all.
At all.
Oh, sorry. Random sidebar. But something that triggered me in this episode 3 actually was at the very start. You know those homeboys that were grinding and then they got the rental increase.
Oh, yeah.
I was just like...
Yeah.
Capitalism always the true villain.
I felt that.
That is what they were showing you with Mark and his, what do you call it? And how Mark is now, should I say justice? But he's now so much more laser focused.
Yeah.
He just bulldozed those guys to the side. Doesn't give a fuck about their sub story. And they showed you that, they showed us that because they don't want us to only see it from Mark's perspective, right? They want us to see the other guys and how even as we cheer on Mark to get stronger and more decisive, there's other people at the back, man, people's lives. And listen to Mr. Ollie and Ollie. Let him hear now.
And also, shout out to both Eve and Debbie. Eve for standing on business with her parents. You know, sometimes you have to break those shackles and just
Eve has
say
the
what you need
worst
to say.
parents in history.
Yeah.
Her father is just insane. I don't know what this guy's problem is.
It's the
God
misogyny. It's just inside. Just
like
yeah.
he's a very, very strong misogynist. Even to his daughter. That's the craziest thing.
That's how they do. And then of course our hot girl Debbie. She's also in her lover girl era.
Yes.
Shout out Debbie.
Comfortable again.
What are your thoughts on her?
The funniest part of that bit was when like Mark and Oliver come back home and Derry and Paul are making out on the couch. And Oliver is not like, wait, so are you guys going to meet now? How was that?
No, man.
Kids, man, they just ask the direct and important questions. He was
Crazy.
like, whoa. But no, shout out to her for, you know, finding love. You know, Mark was pissed because she revealed his secret identity, basically. Yeah. So what were your thoughts on that? Would you guys have been pissed, or is it fair enough?
Yeah, I think I understand why he's pissed, but at the same time, it's also him being selfish because his mom has to date and find love, but it's just very complicated when you're a superhero because there's nothing she could have done that would have satisfied him. Even though they were dating for 3 years before she said it, he would have still been annoyed, right? So let's just hope whatever his name doesn't use the knowledge for evil.
That whole thing even just triggered me because, you know, at the end of the recap of season 2 actually triggered me. First of all, a lot of stuff happened, but I think it ended with Omni-Man saying, I miss my wife.
I miss my wife. Yeah.
I just remembered it and I was re-triggered.
That's a grade A psychopath, bro. I don't worry about Omni-Man, bro. We know what he is.
Actually insane.
That's a grade A psychopath.
He misses his pets.
Ridiculous. It was good to see Alan, though.
Yeah. And he still cannot die, so that's good.
Yeah.
We have at least one permanent character.
Just burst that shit up.
Looking forward, what do you guys expect to see in the rest of the season? And perhaps a hint, who is watching our Invincible family? And with a sinister laugh and a sinister voice.
So, like, the person watching, honestly, I don't even know whether it's like a completely like new villain or is somebody that like they wronged in the past. But, you know, I'm excited to see how that's going to play out because, again, like, that story could go any way, like, but it doesn't take away from the main story, right? Which is like the Viltrumites are coming, right? And that's what like everybody needs to prepare for this season. Like honestly, I think it might be another version of Angstrom.
Yeah,
I'm not
that's what I was
100% sure.
thinking.
That's what I'm thinking. Like, I think it might be another version of Angstrom, but again, could be anything. So looking forward to how that storyline plays out. And
yeah, that was the first thing I thought. I was like, is this Angstrom guy back from like a different dimension, or is he not dead or out of? I was just like, that was the first name that popped to mind. I think it was the laugh. I was like,
yeah,
this big headed.
Yeah, it was a laugh, and he said something, right? He said something like, "Oh, what a happy family," or something like that, and it did sound like Sterling K. Brown, and I thought, is that Angstrom? But at the same time, I don't know if they would telegraph it like that, but I would be excited if it's Angstrom because it would now be a real test of Mark, which is why I say like this season has to be the season where Mark either becomes a hero or just becomes an anti-hero where he's morally grey. Because seeing Angstrom again, and if this Angstrom tries to threaten his family, we will see how far Mark has come and which side wins this time. Is he going to be beating people black and blue, or is he going to say, okay, I will just arrest someone who tried to kill my family? And just as a flag to our lovely listeners, if you're watching on Amazon and you're able to see who that is on the Amazon through the Amazon X-ray feature, the thing they have on the side where it tells you the actor when they come on the scene, we don't have that when we watch at this time before the show comes out. So if it's revealed and the last 3 minutes have been for nothing, then apologies. We're just speculating. But yeah, it feels like Angstrom is the consensus guess. Excited to see. And like you said, the Viltrumites are still coming. I wonder what's taking them so long. Maybe they want Mark to actually get strong so they can enjoy the fight. That's my bet. But yeah, maybe they'll keep sending guys one by one to fight Mark. One every month.
One every episode or so. I'm excited to see Alan. I'm excited to see Anissa.
Yeah.
Who else is there?
Anissa, save me.
Literally.
Oh my God.
One other storyline I'm also interested in. It kind of went under the radar, but like, bro, Rudy is up to something. Like, cause when he left the Guardians, something was like, bro, I know you're leaving because of the girl, but that's not all. And he said something about Mark being the most powerful hero on the planet, and he might need Mark on his side one day. And I'm like, well, bro, Mark is already on your side. Why you saying that kind of shit? That's kind of suspicious.
I'm suspecting
then when Monster Girl picked up that box and he took it from her, he's like, oh, it's a pet project that he's working on. So clearly, Rudy's up to something. He's up to something.
Yeah.
Rudy
I don't know
is
what he's
up
up
to something.
but I would like to see how that's going to play out.
And he's always been a snaky guy. There's not a single season where he hasn't had a pet project in the back. So I wonder what this season's one is going to be. He might even be working on the cover for Cecil. Who knows?
Yeah, it could be anything.
Please.
I'm telling you, man. He might be working on a cover for Cecil. But yeah, guys, I have loved doing this. Just a note to the listeners, we will have an episode coming out for next week. It will be a shorter episode than this, but we'll be deep diving into a specific plot point or a small detail about the show that we love or have loved for 3 seasons or just this season so far. And I'll have a special guest for you guys, and Oseghale and Chiagoziem will join us again in 2 weeks' time to discuss Invincible. And these episodes will be available for you immediately you finish watching the show. So as soon as you finish watching the show on Amazon Prime, you'll be able to find us on all podcast platforms: Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and YouTube. It's been a pleasure, guys, and I'm excited to see what Mark, Ollie, Debbie, and all the Guardians get up to for the rest of the season. See you soon.
Bye, hotties.
Remember, life is precious. Ollie is wrong.
Life is precious, and bring back the Maulers, please. I can't do one whole season without them. Jesus Christ.
Please. Please.